If you're going to have one piece of gear in your studio, with the ECS-410 you actually get 4 pieces of gear that can be used individually or used all together and very simply move through any different setup to get all kinds of different tones. This is a 4-section channel strip. We have a microphone preamp, we have an equalizer, we have the dynamic section, and then we have the drive bus, which is the output section. Tying it all together is the touch patch system. With this system, we can very, very easily pull sections in and out of the internal signal path. So very quickly, I can move the compressor in and out, put the EQ in front of the compressor, the EQ behind the compressor. So you don't have to keep getting around repatching once everything is patched in. It's very simple. A touch of a button and everything is routed to go immediately from tracking to mixing. Every section has its own inputs and outputs, can be used separately or very simply internally routed. This really gives the engineer the opportunity to get a lot of different tones very quickly and to experiment with different sounds very, very intuitively. Let's say I'm overdriving the output. Say I'm recording an electric piano, for example, and I want a little bit of a tube or solid state grind out of that. So I get something and I'm driving it fairly hard and getting a sound that I really like. You can commit to that sound by recording that track, but you can also record directly from the microphone preamp, directly from the EQ output and the compressor output. So you have backup tracks that doesn't necessarily have that distortion on it. So you have all 4 tracks at the same time. So in mix later, you can decide which you prefer. This is a perfect home studio piece because it's so versatile, and it is 4 pieces of gear in one. So it really is very, very high value to be able to use these pieces separately and have a single track of absolutely pristine, beautiful sound. Also for musicians, the high Z input on this is beautiful sounding with bass and guitar. So I'm going to play a little bass through it here. I'll show you how quickly we can change different settings in here. Right now we're listening to just the bass directly in here and just to the drive bus in a totally clean sort of mode. Let's say I want to overdrive that just a little bit. I turn down the output, turn up the drive. So that's in vacuum tube, starting to get a little grind out of it there. You start to hear it overdriving just a little bit. I can do the same thing in discrete transistor. Very simply. Let's say I want to put the compressor in line. Done. So that quick. Change the threshold a little bit here. You see how quickly I can grab that compressor in there. I want to put the EQ after the compressor. Done. Each section, we're going to start with the microphone preamp. This is either tube or solid state, just a single switch there, with a high Z in as well, which goes directly to the grid of the tube. This is a passive 3-band EQ, so it's a passive LC circuit. It's definitely a tone shaper kind of circuit. It's a dual mode compressor with gain, threshold, attack, and release on potentiometers. What I mean by dual mode, you can see here is a classic and tight switch. The classic switch is the kind of compression for which Summit is best known. The very easy, soft knee sort of compression, very musical. The drive bus is a very interesting section here. It is overdrivable in both discrete transistor and dual vacuum tube, and you can completely bypass the system. Why would you want this in your studio? There's 4 reasons. It's a very long-lasting piece. Summit Audio has a long history, a 30-year history of making stunning-sounding products. It's an original piece, original tone. It'll give you an original tone. It's an original design, original look. It's extremely versatile. All the different tones we can get out from extremely clean and clear all the way to complete distortion in either tube or discrete solid state. It is also extremely easy to use. It's very easy to try different tones by touching a touch patch, and very easy to get a very good tone out of it. So call your Sweetwater sales engineer today. These people know the product, they've touched it, they've heard it. These are the people you need to talk to.